Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My returning tax preparers, thank you for coming back. And my new preparers, welcome to X-Tax. So this is a tax preparer or employee orientation. Um, Start here, the employee packet. I think most people have got that completed. My returning people, I pretty much just send a message to you. If you guys have any problems, let me know. PTIN registration, IRS made some changes to that. Now there's like two-factor authentication, so pretty much everyone has to do their own PTIN registration because they're going to send a code to your email, and we don't have your email. So before we always did it, we can't do it now. So I mean, I'm fine paying for it. I can reimburse you if you use your card. Just let me know, and then I'll just put money in your bank account. Probably easiest. Um, anyway, but everyone needs to get their PTIN registered if they can. If they don't have one, let us know that too. Computers, this is the same. Try not to use it for personal use. We don't want any viruses. It's just too big of a risk. And everyone has a phone anyways, and I know you guys know how to use them. So just use your phone when you have free time. And again, obviously, if you got work to do, I want you to do work. And then I think and with your cell phone, since we're going to that usage too, don't use it when your client, especially now we have in-person returns again. So I would put your phone on mute so it doesn't ding and all that. Even if you're not using it, it's really probably annoying to the client if it's going off. So just if you got to get to someone after the client goes on their way, send a text real quick. But again, if we're busy, I'd like you to keep on working and do that after hours. But anyway, don't do it in front of clients. And then obviously, if you do have free time, I'd rather have you use your phone than our computers, just for the virus reasoning. Dress code. Basically, it's, we're pretty casual around here, but we were allowing blue jeans, because obviously we weren't around clients and we're running in and outside. Now, because clients can come back in and they're going to see us. So, no blue jeans. No ball cap. I'm probably fine with ball caps for our bank product clients. I mean, they're not high maintenance or anything. They are in their own way, but not in that way. So once we get into our late February into March, those clients tend to look at us differently as preparers. So again, if you're around the clients, that's what I'm concerned about. If you're not around the clients, those people working remotely, I don't care what you're doing. And then, try to wear the X-Tax stuff. We can order whatever you want, but it just looks more professional. Then the clients know who's an employee and who's not an employee. Payroll every other Wednesday is what I do. I usually do payroll on Sunday. So January 11th would be the first payroll of this calendar year. Make sure everyone has set up for EFT. And make sure you know how to use your wage detail if you want. That's basically your pay stub. And you can go into Atom and tag it. If you go into reports, wage detail, now there's a spot. I can pull that up real quick here. If I go into reports, so this is what reports look like now. So you can actually just check a box and then it becomes a favorite. So you can put it way at the top. So there's my wage detail right there. And then you can run it, put the date range in. It's got to be a Sunday to a Saturday to give an accurate output for you. And again, I think I went over this before. Make sure that your hours are accurate before I do the payroll on Sunday. 2 locations, still got 2 locations. Obviously, West Saginaw, the main one, and then Cedar. So we're doing the same things that we did last year, except this year we're gonna have in person at West Saginaw. South Cedar is just gonna be a print and assemble. So if they need to see a live person, they want to come over to West Lansing. Websites, get familiar with xtax.com just so you know what's on there. And then a lot of times you'll tell the client to go there to log into the client portal where they can get their copy of their tax return. So there's a link at xtax.com in the upper right hand corner. It says client login. That's how they get to the portal. I guess I can show you that too real quick. Right here, client login. There's going to click on that. Click on this. It's going to say, are you a new client or an existing client? So an existing client, they're going to go to the login page. I don't want to click on it because it's going to log me out of my other sites. So, but that's what I want you to know about the X-Tax. Use a preparer. That's probably all you need to know. Parking at West Saginaw. So our parking lot is used more than just parking cars. I mean, now they got a service window at West Saginaw, so they're lining up in the parking lot. So the fewer cars in there, the easier it is to service our clients. So if you don't need to park in the parking lot, please park. The best spot is to park between Chase Bank and Quality Dairy. You can park on the street. Just be careful. We had some arguments with our neighbor right behind Chase that didn't like us parking on the street. I don't know how they're going to behave this year. If they're fine, then I'd say park on the street because it's closer and it's probably, not that it's not safe to walk. It's just a half a block away. It's just around, people walk to Quality Dairy. But anyway, that parking lot between Quality Dairy and Chase is wide open. If you want, we can always have somebody walk with you as it gets dark to make sure you get there okay, but it's not far. But anyway, that frees up our parking lot. If you need to park in the parking lot, just let me know. Some people have trouble, walking that distance. I'm fine with it. In the last 2 years, I thought the parking lot was actually going to be jam-packed and we wouldn't have enough space, but actually people were coming, going so quickly, just dropping stuff off, or more people are doing it online too. So we really haven't had a parking issue. It's just, I don't know what's going to happen this year now that we're going to have people back in the office. They might be sitting in our lobby waiting like they used to do. So they might be hogging up the parking lot. I don't know. But, starting like, I think around mid-January, whatever, it's kind of like I'll probably send a message out telling you when I feel like we need to get out of the parking lot, probably sooner than later. I mean, because I have so many people coming in for training that, our staff takes up more than half the parking lot. So anyway, that's regarding the parking situation. And then just let you know, a lot of times people get confused. So right behind Chase, there's parking. You can't use that. That's Chase parking only. It's on the other side of Chase Bank between Quality Dairy and Chase is where we have open parking. Hours of operation, we did 9 to 6:30. I thought it worked well last year. We'll see how it goes this year. Maybe we have to stay up until 7 just because some of our students, we might need them that extra 30 minutes. They can knock out a return. So we'll see how that goes. But kind of just keep track of your work schedule and see that. Now, if you are available beyond that, we could actually, maybe shut the doors at 6:30 and some of us could stay after later and try to knock some returns out. So if you're able to stay longer, let Kay know. But as of right now, we'll probably do definitely 6:30 or 7. But sometimes we might have to stay longer just to wrap things up. 9 to 4 on Saturday, I thought that worked out well. Cedar, similar hours, but we're not sure. There's just a couple of them over there, or sometimes just one. But phone staff need to be more aware of the hours of Cedar so we don't give someone the wrong hours. Breaks, take your breaks when needed. We don't have any designated time. There'll be a lot of time where you don't have so much to do. There'll be a lot of times where you have a lot to do. So, and then just because someone's not breathing down your throat, staring at you, because you might be doing a drop-off return, if there's still 100 in drop-off, you can almost treat that as if there's 100 in our lobby. So go grab the next one, go grab the next one, grab the next one. Just don't get lax because you don't have anyone staring at you. They might not be staring directly at you, but they're staring and wondering why the return isn't done from home. So it seems like we did a better job when the lobby was full. We worked at a fast pace. Then when we took away the lobby and said everyone's outside, it seemed like we kind of slowed down. So I'd rather, if there's people in drop off, that means there's returns to be done. So just go grab the next one out of drop off. Okay, that's just, you don't have to go crazy, but just stay steady and keep working. Take your break when you need it. If there's nothing in drop off, then that means there's nothing to do for the most part. And, it's fine. I have no problem with you, working on your homework, your students. I can't keep you busy all the time, but when I do have work, please do the work. And again, just because there's not someone physically across from you doesn't mean there's nothing to do. If you need to talk to someone and ask one of the managers or senior staff, hey, is it okay if I don't see anything, do you have anything for me to do? Otherwise, I'm just going to do some problems and let me know as soon as there's something to do. That would be awesome if you did that, because that way that person would know, oh, they're willing to do more, but there's really nothing to do, so go ahead, that's fine. Anyway, lunch during peak, we'll try to, I usually buy lunch for the staff to keep you guys working when you're, and when it's so busy. And then we'll bring food in too, but obviously I'm not going to do that all the time. But if you need to leave to go, most people stay in the office and eat. You don't have to clock out or anything, because usually you're doing it, just take a little 15-minute, 20-minute break, whatever, to eat. If you leave the office, just clock out. At West Saginaw, we have a brand new break room, really nice, TV, big screen TV, everything. Utilize that as much as you can. You don't have to use it. I mean, you can eat at your desk. All I say is keep the area around your desk clean. Don't throw your McDonald's and all that in your trash can, overflow it as the clients are coming in. I would rather have you put the food upstairs in the trash can or somewhere where it's not going to smell. So our old break room, which is now the call center, I have clients walking through there back to my desk. So if you put the trash in there and it smells, they're going to smell that. So it's exactly the same thing. Probably the safest thing is if it smells. If it doesn't smell, I don't care. But that's kind of the whole thing about food in the office. We do have a great place to eat the food upstairs, but some people can't make it upstairs. Shredding papers. So obviously we're shredding papers, all socials. Don't put them in the trash can by mistake, because they will go in our dumpster and then people have access to those. So we've had problems in the past. Sometimes you might not even have a trash can at your desk, and that is the reason, just because it's not like people are intentionally putting tax documents in a trash can, it's just they forget. So, and it is critical too that we don't want someone's confidential information going in the wrong place. So we have blue recycling bins. Those papers get shredded, and that's where we want everything to go. Not trash. We don't need trash in there. Trash can go in a trash can, but tax documents go in the blue bins. Client documents, client info sheet revised. I'm going to get a copy of that. 1 second here. Okay, paused it just to get a comment. But just so you know, the client documents, since I'm back, I quickly went back to our website, xtax.com. Clients can get their documents from here too. So client forms. Here's a new client information form. So for the most part, it's the same, other than we were able to eliminate all those questions, stimulus, advanced child tax credit. So things that the client never basically filled in anyways, we can completely remove it because we don't have to worry about that this year. And you'll learn about that in the tax law changes I go over. So we kind of we had more space because we got rid of that. So the questions at the top, we used to have yes, no questions. We kind of put those down here in the middle, and we've reduced the number of yes, no questions to more of a checkbox. So ones where we used to have Form 1095-A marketplace, we used to say, did you have insurance for the marketplace? Yes or no? Well, now we just have a checkbox. And the reason we did that is because now if we file a return without the 1095-A marketplace information, the IRS will reject it. So before, they put it through and then they held on to their refund until they had it done. So that was a big problem. Now they just reject it, and we just call the client and say, hey, we need a 1095-A form so we can complete the return. Not a big deal. So now it's just a checkbox and it cleans up the clutter. Charity, that's just right here, but you'll learn in the tax law changes, that's not a big deal this year. So all we have really is, can someone claim he's a dependent, and did you live or work in the city during the year? And also, did you live at this address all year? That's so we can know if they're a part year resident or not. And then did you pay property taxes? That's kind of helps us identify, are they a homeowner? Should we do a homestead property tax credit with their house as opposed to rent? That's kind of why we have those questions there. So we have the dependents on this screen. So this checkbox right here used to be on the back side. So now we'll be able to move it to the front. I believe it used to be on the back side. And here's my dependents here. We added more lines. Everything else here is the same with my rent information and how they want their refund. And then we had so much space at the end that we added a refer a friend right here to remind them that they can get $25 for referring somebody, and their clients can get 25 discount, their friend can. Okay, that's the client info sheet. Close that out. Let me go to the self-employment form. The only thing that changed there, we got this big empty box right here. So we got rid of the, for you returning preparers, form 7202, were you sick due to COVID? I honestly, I don't even know if that credit's still there. I didn't do it one time last year myself. It was kind of a pain doing the days. If it still exists and your clients ask about it, we'll research it and figure it out. But otherwise, I'm not asking if they were sick due to COVID. I mean, for the most part, the COVID big issues are gone. Obviously, everyone's going to get sick and can't work. So that's why this is a blank space anymore. I'm not asking that question. Now, I did just become aware for business miles, we're going to have to adjust this. So I'll have to get Porter involved, as now we need to know miles before July 1st and miles after July 1st because the mileage rate changed. So I overlooked that, apologize. We'll change this form to update it, but this is what it looks like right now, but we'll have to somehow squeeze that in here. So Porter will have to do that. Anyway, other than that, those are our forms. We get back to my outline here. Due diligence sheet. Now we have, instead of using the due diligence sheet, I want to try to, this is new this year, I created a checklist inside of Atom. One is, I think it's going to be simpler overall and save time. And two, I don't need a piece of paper. So where that is, I'll go over here in Atom right now. So when you move it to tax prep, and it's both tax preparation office and tax preparation Eric or Rick, when I go in here, let me go inside the file because usually that's where you guys are. So right here, this is a checklist. It's always been here, but now I actually built it out. So when you click on the green, this is basically, I took everything on our checklist and our due diligence piece of paper checklist, and I put it in here. So you might open this up and it might look like this, like a huge list, which is just overwhelming. Okay, check the box, organize by type. And once you do that, every time you come back to this page, it'll always say organize by type, or it should. If it doesn't, let me know and there's a glitch and we'll get it fixed. But so you can easily see, so normally everything you're gonna do is head of household. I click on this, I'm gonna say, did you pay more than half the upkeep of your house? Yes. So I designed it, and this is a box, you do it under done. I pretty much designed it that the check is going to be the ones we normally do, all right? So if married, obviously, if they didn't, add note where spouse lived. Okay, so if they were married, did not live apart. If married, did you live apart from your spouse last 6 months of the year? So obviously it's going to be yes, otherwise I'm not doing head of household, right? So then you're supposed to add a note as to where your spouse lives. So to add a note, you're just going to hit the edit pencil and enter your note here. Okay, and then save it. So you do have to hit when you check the boxes here. So if I check the box and I do it this way and enter a note and then I save, obviously it saves, but if I check the box here, you have to come here and hit mark as done, either up here or here. Otherwise it does not save. So the only time you're going to get a checkbox here, up here in the organized by type, is if both of these boxes are checked, if everything's checked. So if I then go to dependency and say maybe not all of these apply. So obviously, yes, I can prove they're related to me. I can, yes, they're related and that they lived in my household. Did the child support themselves? It's going to be check the box no, that means they didn't, which is usually the case. So normally all these will probably be checked. Let's just say only part of them are checked. I hit mark is done here. So now I got, 4 out of the 7. So if you notice here, they're not all checked. I mean, this isn't checked right here, and it shows there's a total of 7. So I can actually go to, so that's what we're going to do, unless it becomes a pain, all right? If you're like, this is just too much. This is taking me more time than my little piece of paper where some of you guys already had some of the key ones checked anyways. So it's like, this is actually should be better. It's actually for audit purposes. If we get audited, this is actually better proof to the IRS because it shows when you checked it, the date and all that. And it says who did it. That other thing doesn't say anything. And you can put the notes right here and it's more organized. I think it'll be better just because I don't have to worry about getting a piece of paper. And that's right down here. So if I had a child attending college, you know, it's going to say which school they go to. If it was less than 12 months, you know, then it's going to say, it's exactly the same as the due diligence piece of paper. I copied it exactly the same, where they live the rest of the year. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to try that out. Give me some feedback. If you, obviously the only feedback you'll probably give me is if it doesn't work. But the reviewers can easily go in here and see if you're doing it or not. Now, this is a really good one. So right here, the very first one, this was really designed for Eric. Okay, no additional questions needed. You come in here and it says information received from the client appears to be correct, consistent, and complete. That is the IRS language. If everything looks good, there are no additional questions to be asked. I knew that used to be an argument with some preparers and our reviewers over and over and over again. Now we can check a box and tell the reviewer, based on my experience, based on what the client gave me, everything looks good. You check this box. And see, it says no, which would mean additional questions. That means all these. So I just check this box. I hit mark as done. You're good to go. Now you don't have to get a reviewer question and have one come back and then have somebody call me and say, can you get the reviewer off my butt? There's nothing more to be done. Look how much time will be saved. Just check a box. Tell the reviewer there's nothing else that needs to be done. The reviewer protects their butt. Hopefully you protected your butt, because if you get audited and the IRS comes back and says, wait a minute, there's a niece and nephew on here. Why would you say nothing more needs to be done? That's on you, not on me. That's on you as a senior preparer. You know better, but it's not on the reviewer anymore. You check the box. Now the reviewer should be looking to see if they see something like that and say, hey, that's a high risk return. You need to ask the extra questions. Anyway, that's what we have. Let's go with it. Let's see how it works. And we can actually run a report to see how many are using this and how many are not using it. And I'll show you that a little later. Okay, so that's under tax prep in the checklist. So let me go back to my outline. Employee schedules, we'll try to prepare it in advance, but it's always a challenge. If your availability schedule changes, let us know. Kay's doing the work schedule, so shoot her messages. Job positions, for the most part, everything is the same, except we added a greeter job position. So this is a brand new position. We're gonna see how this works. Basically, this is at West Saginaw, and they're just going to greet the client when they come in the door, or if they're in the parking lot toward the back window and the line starts forming, just to ask them, you know, welcome to X-Tax, how can I help you? What are you here for? Because there's so many different changes this year. So if we can tell them how things are working, then they might be on their way or do whatever they want, as opposed to sitting 5-10 minutes in a line just to say, I'm just dropping off. So we're gonna see how that works. But other than that, everything else is pretty much the same as job positions. Returning employees, this is who we got. So this is a list up here at West Saginaw. Jason is a permanent person over at Cedar, and then Melvin's gonna help out. We may possibly have another person there, but I don't know quite yet at this time. And these are my remote ones that I know of as of right now. And Caitlin's going to be answering phones remotely. Porter's going to be reviewing, Sally reviewing, and then the other three are going to be preparing. So answering phones, again, everything's exactly the same. So those people, I should say, I keep thinking everybody listening to this is returning, but they're not. So answering the phone, answering the phones, we're using soft phones, headsets, so it doesn't matter where you are, anybody can answer the phone and we can transfer to anybody. You just have to be either using using a headset or using a mic on your laptop. Marketing, so $25 discount to basically all new clients. If they're prior year, they can still get a discount if they bring their deck page in and or they're a Pole Insurance client. So because we also do business with Pole Insurance, which is upstairs at the West Saginaw location, they should tell you if they're a Pole client, then we give them $25 off. Or if they talk about the declaration page, it's basically their insurance page showing their deductibles. So it gives us opportunity to give them a quote and try to win their business. So we'll give them $25 off also. Obviously road sign, refer a friend, internet. We're not doing any other advertising until we get a handle on staffing, and also figuring out exactly how the office is going to run. So this year, I think this is the way we're probably going to run going forward in the future. But again, this is a big change this year compared to what we did last year. So we're still getting our feet wet here, getting processes down. And then the big reason is we don't have enough staff probably to handle what we have currently. So I don't want to try to bring more business in. I'm not going to turn business away, but I'm not going to pay other than my refer a friend program, which for those that are new, that's basically if you have a friend or a family member that needs their taxes done, I will give you $25 if you bring that person in, and then I'll give them a $25 discount. So, and of course, anyone who's a current X-Tax employee, we will do your taxes for free. Or since you're preparers, hopefully you will do your own taxes for free. Sales letters, I think I sent that to you guys already as a message. That's what I sent out to all our existing clients. Free gifts, so we're going to get that going again. It's kind of what X-Tax does. So we've been doing it for over 20 years. Clients like them, not everybody, but a lot of them. But it kind of separates us from other tax. Actually, it doesn't kind of. It does separate us from other tax business. So, we do things differently than others, and obviously that's hopefully why we get clients here. But anyway, this is just like a token of saying thank you for coming in. So we kept them small items just to make it easier to store and like to give them through the little slot for the window. The new thing, we have the beer koozies. So it's been a long time since we did that. And then I didn't come up with this idea. One of the new preparers did. Sunglasses. So they're kind of cool, actually, if it works out. I'm in the process of getting them purchased. So again, they all say X-Tax on them. Try to keep one per customer because they will go probably pretty fast if we start doubling or tripling them up. Now pens, I don't care about pens, so I don't really count that as a gift. They can have a pen anytime they want. It's the other items. And let's see here, COVID-19 measures. So masks, if you want to wear a mask as an employee, please feel free to. I don't plan on wearing them at this time. For clients, if they come in, I know some will come in with a mask. I'm hoping the ones that want to wear a mask, hopefully those will stay out in their vehicle or stay at home. That means that they're concerned. So they don't need to come in, but I know there's going to be some that come in. So what we're going to do is if they come in with a mask and they sit in front, if they're in the lobby, whoever's the greeter in the lobby, that's up to you if you want to wear. I'm not going to tell you to wear a mask just because someone's sitting 15 feet away from you in a chair. One is they shouldn't be in the lobby to begin with. If they have a mask on, they can go in their car. It's just as easy as being, inside. But if they're at a desk, at preparer station at a desk, and they have a mask, then, again, for customer service, say, would you like me to wear a mask also? If they say no, that's perfectly fine. Then it's up to you. If they say yes, that would be great. Then, put a mask on. Or if you just want to put a mask on right away because that's up to you too. But I just want that question to be asked of them to see, so you're showing that you are concerned if they're worried about germs or getting COVID or just getting a flu or any other sickness. Electronic filing and refunds. So there's no date yet. Typically last year, I think it was January 24th. So I'm assuming it'll probably be around that date when the IRS will turn it on and we can start electronically filing returns. So in the meantime, we'll do returns as long as we can, and then we'll just kind of stockpile them. And then once Actually, we'll probably send them to Drake, and then Drake kind of holds on to them, and then they send them off when the IRS, and typically the IRS will grab them prior to the 24th with Drake. So we'll send them as soon as we can to Drake, which probably will be probably toward the end of this week. I'm assuming Drake, as soon as they give us the release, we can start sending them and doing bank products, giving the advances, because we can do the advance loan prior to, they call it pre-act, prior to the IRS actually accepting returns. So I put down January 3rd, which is tomorrow. I don't know if Drake's going to send us the release allowing us to do that yet. It's really up to them, but I'm assuming it's going to come anytime now. You can e-file 20, 21, and 22. Everything else has to be paper filed, federal and state. City, we can only e-file the current year, which is 2022, and we have to paper file everything else. Even though Drake might give you the green check on a prior year return, we still have to paper file that city return. It will not go. It'll be rejected back. Refunds typically are 21 days, possibly as quick as 7. I just say within 21 days. I mean, the IRS is so messed up with this pandemic, still trying to catch up. It's ridiculous. So injured spouse, typically 16 to 24 weeks. Hopefully that's still the case. I definitely wouldn't say it's any sooner. Amendments, I'm almost going to tell people like 6 months for an amendment. They might be quicker than that. Michigan's pretty up to speed. We can do amendments for Fed and Michigan for 3 years, 2 years prior, and then the current year. City, we cannot e-file amendments. We can obviously paper file amendments if we have to. Refund delays, this is the same as it's been, I don't know, for 5 years now. Earned income credit, additional child tax credit, any of the refundable credits. I believe the American Opportunity Credit's in there too. The IRS will not even, now we can e-file them and the IRS will accept them, give us acknowledgement it's accepted, but they will not begin processing it until February 15th. So the earliest they would get their refund, that person would be toward the end of February, but most likely it's probably the first week of March. If they do a loan, a refund advance, obviously they can get a part of that loan in advance instantly, same day, but the rest of the refund will not come until that time. Now, Michigan might come sooner because they don't have the same rule where they can't process the return. So be sure to tell the clients, I have it in the little letter that prints out saying that they can expect it. And they should know this now, but especially the people on the, well, I'm not talking about the phone people, but you just want to, especially right away, January and early February, just let them know, that the IRS, you won't get your refund, even if you're paying me right now, it's not going to come until mid-February. I mean, I'm sorry, they won't even start looking at it until mid-February. In fact, if they were to go to IRS, where's my refund? And I'll probably put that up there on their portal, that the IRS doesn't, I don't even know if they acknowledge it. They don't give them any kind of projected date yet, but they may not even acknowledge that they have the return yet. And it's because they haven't processed anything yet. But I will put that out there if that's the case. I think that was the case last year. Bank products, nothing's changed. Actually, everything's exactly the same. And I'll go to my website for that too. You can get the bank product form right here. So that part made it easy because nothing changed. So more info. And I think most of you guys understand this. If they pay us now, there's no additional fee. They pay us check, cash, or credit. It's still 7 to 21 days, doesn't speed anything up. If they pay later, the money comes out of their refund. There's an additional $82 plus their tax prep fee. Same speed. They can get a check in our office, direct deposit, or on a prepaid Visa card. If they do state, it's an additional $14, up to $6,000 today. If the bank and everything's running properly, that one's going to range from 82 to 437. If they get the full 6,000 and it takes the full, I believe, 30 days at a minimum, that's the max. If the IRS, it's basically when the bank gets paid is when the IRS releases a refund. So the sooner the IRS releases a refund, the less costly it is to the client. But we don't know when the IRS is going to release the refund. Obviously, the ones that are coming in early, their refund's not going to come until the end of February at the earliest, so they're going to get hit with the highest fees. And then it's all broken out on the back here as the fee structure, but it's really hard to calculate again because it's all based on when, oh, it's 60 days is the max. Okay, sorry, not 30, 60 days. But it's all based on when the IRS releases a refund. So you can't give them an exact cost of the loan that they're going to get. But this is the breakout. It's exactly the same as it was last year, which is nice. Minimize that. Let me go back to my outline. As far as I know, Walmart will be cashing them. We'll have to check on that. I'll let you know exactly. I say January 3rd, but I doubt that. Well, it could happen. I mean, today's the 2nd. We'll see if it's all when Drake releases that the software update. Training, you know, we have EITC training. Try to get that, especially my new people. Practice problems 20 and 21. Probably not going to get 2022 finished, but it's. I guess the good thing is Drake didn't really change anything in their software. It's like identical. So if you can do it in 20 and 21, you can do it in 22. The only thing that changed is a tax law, and I go over that with you. So everything else is pretty much the same. You know, we have the OJT. I need to update that actually, just kind of like going over what I think you guys should know in order to be successful tax preparers. E-sign tax return, you know, we want to keep pushing that. Don't force it. Just give it to them as an option, just like, you know, just like refund like when you say, you know, say you're going to get $8,000 back, how would you like your refund? Did you want to pay us up front? Do you want to get some early? Do you want to, you know, just rattle it off same way as, you know, if you're doing their tax return, especially remote, and say, well, did you want to e-sign or do you want to come back in and sign? Or, you know, they should be kind of aware of e-sign by now, but, you know, they don't need to come back. You know, if they want to come back, I don't have a problem with them coming back, but if they don't come back, that means we don't have to print and assemble that return. We have their tax documents probably or possibly, but we can get that to them at some time, or they can come pick it up anytime. But anyway, just let them know these are the options. They can pick what they want, whatever's most convenient for them. We're here for them. And getting into we're here for them, let's just do this customer service reminders. I mean, most everybody does, you know, X-Tax is great at customer service. Just a nice reminder as we're going into the heart of battle here. And sometimes things get heated up. So if you get heated up, you might want to take a step back and let someone else pop in there, because sometimes these clients push your buttons so much that you can only take so much, and it's better off not going off on them, because it's just going to come back to hurt us, because they're going to do a social media post and all that. So I'd rather almost just say, I'm going to let someone else help you. Maybe they can do a better job, and just get out of there. But anyway, if you always think of, you know, it's before and after. So even before and then even after, you know, we're done with the tax return, with obviously different people take. So my preparer's got this job, this person does it after. So there's like a whole process of, you know, X-Tax. There's a lot of people that are involved in the whole thing. It's just not one person that makes this work. So everybody, there might have multiple people touching this person. So if we all use the 3 Ps, as it says, professionalism, patience, and people first attitude, you're right on track with customer service. And I mean, I need reminders too. I'm not exempt from this. So my January and February crowd, this is typically, it's service first, refund second, or maybe even refunds first, probably refunds first, service second, tax prep is third, if not further down the line. The only reason they're here to get their taxes done is because they want that refund. So as we get into the other crowd, which they might owe money, they're getting their taxes done because they got to get their taxes done. They don't like doing it, but they got to get it done. And they're probably not, some of them aren't getting refunds. So it's the girly crowd. It's all about refunds. So, you know, give them service, get them the refund fast, and obviously do your taxes correctly, but that's the least of their worries. They just want that refund. Go the extra mile if you can. Don't, you know, try not to be short with them. Try not to push them off. I know it's been, typically I like going the extra mile. I don't like calling the IRS, but I know they don't like calling the IRS. And so I try to help them out, because obviously I know more than they do. I've talked to the IRS. They're scared of the IRS. Unfortunately, the IRS has not made it easy for us. And as of this time, we still can't get through to them. If they come in with a letter, do whatever we can to help them with the letter. But to call the IRS at this time, we are not going to get through. We can't even get in the queue. Okay. But just say, tell them that, they can try. We try, but we've already tried so many times we can't even get in the queue. But we're hoping this lets up at some point and we can actually get back to calling them again. Don't put it off as that we're putting them off. Okay. It's the IRS that is not doing their job. And so unfortunately, I cannot do my job to help you. If they won't let me talk to them, I can't do anything. So there's no reason even trying to call. So we can put it, if they want us to put them in their little hopper, and then we'll call whenever the IRS gets to the point where they can start accepting calls, I'm fine with that. We have an event called Call the IRS. We already have over 30 of them in there from last year, and we could tell them that. We just can't get through. Whatever they want to do, but we can't promise that we can get through. We want to help them as much as we can. But so again, you can word it in a way that you don't feel like you're just blowing them off. You want to help them as much as you can. As soon as the IRS starts answering the phones, we can help. But at this time, they are not answering the phones. They're supposed to get help, but that's where they are right now. Anyway, just word it in a way that we're not blowing them off. We're trying to give the customer service. It's just we can only do so much that the IRS allows us to do. Anyway, X-Tax, obviously we're ahead of the game with our competition because we have Adam. I'm not tooting my own horn, but we can get more information quicker to our clients than probably any other tax office because of Adam. Okay, so we have that, but we still got to be, polite and professional with them. And I know you guys are. This is just reminders. And that's both with phone, in person, when you're doing an email, when you're doing a portal message, when you're doing a text. It's the same way. When you're communicating with the client, just remember the 3 Ps. Tax law reminders, the 2020 distribution. So those that were here in 2020, they don't understand, you could spread out. If you took a retirement distribution early, you could spread it out over 3 years. We're into the 3rd year now. So we're gonna have clients with that still on there. Hopefully they remember that, because they're probably gonna owe taxes because they didn't take enough taxes out. But this is the last year. It should pull forward automatically. Just a reminder. Some Adam changes. I'm gonna move this over. You guys might wanna have this. I'm gonna pull Adam up now. So let's see here. Close this. I'll go into my sales. So I'm gonna log out. So the first thing I say, the login page. So we have these nice little announcement pages now. I'll probably be a little busy, so I might not do it. I have Dave who puts these little things up here. This one's just saying get to know your client portal, because I want you guys to log in on the portal so you know what it looks like. Anyway, I can put a little picture here, so we might say this is Monday, Tuesday, whatever. So just so you know, that's what that is. That's our login page. The portal has the same thing for the client. They can have a picture on there too, and again, we control that. My assigned tasks, organized by type. If you go to your assigned tasks, so my goal for X-Tax is to try, and this is for myself too, to try to get, you don't have to complete all your tasks. Obviously you have tasks that some are not time sensitive. If you have time sensitive tasks, please complete them, because if you don't complete them, all you're gonna do is get an angry client who's gonna call X-Tax, take it out on one of the people on the phone. They either got to lie for you to say, oh, he's busy right now, or she's busy right now. They'll try to get back with you. If you don't have the time, try to make the time, either block off time or something, because by postponing a task that is, I wouldn't say urgent, but if the client is expecting something to happen from you and you don't do it during somewhat of that time frame, if it's unrealistic time frame, maybe let them know that I need more time, but just keep the communication open. Anyways, we want to try to get those type of tasks done timely, so it doesn't cause more problems. And again, if you don't complete your task timely, where the client expects it to be completed timely, you're not giving good customer service, which then trickles down on X-Tax, which then trickles off onto other, they're going to tell their friends. And so one little thing trickles all the way down. And not to mention it creates more work for X-Tax overall because the phone staff have to take the calls. Anyway, getting back to why I went to this page to begin with is when you click on Organize by Type on My Assigned Tasks. Obviously, I don't know if this helps at all, but this is now it's an aging table. So it's going to show you how old your tasks are. So you can see, let's try to not get any 10 plus days. And if you have some tasks in there that you don't really need to do anything, but you just want a reminder out there, you can always shoot the assigned task further out so it doesn't show up in your table, because I do have somebody who's going to be watching this and they might shoot you a message and say, why do you have something over 20 days old that's an assigned task? So that would just prevent that from happening. I also have that when you go to the, let me go back here first. I want to show you something before I leave my assigned tasks. In the workflow video that you guys will be watching, I talk about prioritizing events and tasks. It could be task notes. That's what this is going to color code it. So if you had anything you need to prioritize, or if maybe there's a pending client that's like, it's urgent, they need to call back. If you actually use that, it will show up here and it'll color code it and it actually moves it to the top. Now going over here, since we're talking about, this is new down here, Office Data Management. If you click on Assigned Task Aging, and for most of you, it's just going to show you yours. It's the same thing in My Assigned Tasks. It just gives you more information. So I have 6 of them. My average days is 27. I can see I have 1 and 2 to 3 days, and I have 7 and 10 plus. So for me, that's unacceptable. Okay, I personally try to get any of my tasks done within 24 hours that are time sensitive. I'm not saying I do not have tasks that are over 24 hours, but the ones that are time sensitive, I strive to get that done in 24 hours or less. And that's usually a return phone call, because I know the person's just going to call back. So it's like, you're not going to hide from a task. I can tell you that. They will find you and they will get angry. So it's like, just put it out to begin with. I know you don't want to do it. Find the time, do it, and you'll feel better. And the staff will feel better because then they don't have to deal with it. Anyway, that's what this is. You can go down here. A nice thing is you can actually, if you click this, and I'm not going to do it because I have so many, if you hit closed, actually, if I do close because it just started the year, if I hit close, it's going to go all my tasks that I closed out for the calendar year, and it'll show me what my average is. And the nice thing about this, I can see everybody's. You guys see yours. I see everyone's. I can see who's doing well, who's not doing well. Now, I don't know, you might have a good reason, but I am going to look at this year because, again, X-Tax, we have Adam. We can provide the unbelievable customer service, but we also may not. But Adam can now track pretty much everything. It did a pretty good job. Now it does even better. So anyway, that's what this is all about. Use it, hopefully as a tool, so you can knock your tasks out quicker, or see like, oh, maybe you overlooked something like, wow, this is 8 days old. I didn't realize that, and try to knock it out. Okay, let me see what else I got on here. My assigned tasks, office communications. Over here, office communications. This is client portal, prospect portal. All this is like if you wanted to know what's going on. This is now going to give a count by day, so you can see how many texts did X-Tax have, how many emails, how many portal messages. You know if we're busy or we're not. We could always look at the calls last year. Now you can look at everything, including fax. And I didn't even put that down there. I guess that's new. We can now fax through Adam. So if you actually have people faxing you documents, it'll come right into Adam. So if anybody's doing that, let me know and I'll tell you. I mean, if you click on here, this is our fax number. If you click right here, it shows it right here. This is our fax number. It's also down at the bottom of the screen, at the very bottom here. Our phone number, our email address, and this is all related to Adam's fax, Adam's email address. I mean, meaning, and this is, I'm in Adam's sales right now, so you'd want to go under X tax, but I forgot about the fax. Office data management, I already talked about this. I got assigned task. Calls is the same as this calls. This will just give a breakout of, you know, who took calls today, who we talked to, you know, how long, what are they calling about? I mean, that's no different than what we've had last year too, but it's down in this office data management. So actually those that are returning, there is up here, obviously you can see Adam's completely changed, but we had, you know, office event summary and all that, that's now down here. So my office events right here, that's exactly what it was before. Office event summary, you can go see how many taxes did you prepare, how many returns did you review and all that. That didn't change, it's just moved and kind of renamed a little bit. Checklists. So this is hopefully going to be used. So I want to go back to tax preparation. So remember I had, for tax preparation, we had the due diligence list. And why isn't it working? 12.7. Oh, clear. So I actually can come in here. It's not showing up. I know something must have been wrong, unless I didn't save it. But it should have showed those due diligence questions, so I could actually see if anyone's using the due diligence or not by checking things off here. But really, the reason I wanted to show this is when I go back to tax preparation for Johnny Tester here. Actually, I'm going to go over here. Oh, that's why I was in X tax, not Adam sales. That's why it didn't show up. So I'm going to go over here to Johnny Tester. And let's say I'm all done with the tax return. Now I'm going to move it to, I would move it to reviewer, right? And then when someone's reviewing it, say they found a couple problems, they're going to move it to reviewer questions and make the note as to what the problem is and then assign it to that preparer. Come on. Okay, so I'd move it to reviewer questions. Okay, and then they're going to, they would pick whoever the preparer was. I'm just going to leave it at Mark. And then I'm going to make my notice of what the problem was. I usually assign it to that person. But then when I save it, the checklist page is going to pop up right here, and it's going to say, what kind of error was it? And again, if this doesn't show up like this, just check the box organized by type. But this would be the person who's reviewing returns. But I just want to show you how this works. So now I'm going to go ahead and I can say docs missing. So if you forgot to upload something, no due diligence, that what you're supposed to fill out, data entry. Let me say it was a data entry error. Again, I got to save it. Then I'm going to say how bad was the error. So, okay, so if someone has a lot of data entry, I'm going to say either, you know, double check your work or slow down or something to figure out what the problem is. And then the preparer or the reviewer is going to then say how bad it is. Say it's less than $500. Again, they hit. So we can go and look to see. So at the end of the day, all you preparers that say, I don't make any mistakes. Well, in the last 25 years, I just had to take your word for it because I had no black and white proof of anything other than talking to my reviewer and say, does so-and-so make any mistakes or are they that good? So, and that would be their memory have to go. Now I can come here to checklists and I can go to reviewer questions and I can see, okay, I can see how many data entry errors for all users happened today. And I can put whatever date range I want. Oh, this is actually 12/9. Oh, I must have had it defaulted in there. Actually, let me hit clear. I'll put today. It looks like because I have this in here, I check the box. I hit view details. So I can see, oh, okay, so Mark had a data entry error. It was less than 500, and that's who the client was. So now if I'm double checking to make sure, did I make any mistakes? I did say I made it 18 returns today. Well, let me go see how many mistakes I made. And of course, I know I made a few because Sally told me already, but I can come in here and I can double check and see how many mistakes I made or, and it's not really to find out, you know, who's making, if someone's making mistakes, let's figure out why and then figure out a solution to try to reduce the mistakes or how bad the mistakes are. If I didn't upload a document, obviously that happens, you know, but every mistake you make, that trickles down to cause extra work for someone too. I'm not saying, I mean, everyone makes mistakes. I make mistakes. So I actually kind of want to see how many mistakes I make in a tax year. How bad are my mistakes? Are they really bad? Okay. Anyway, that's what this is designed for. So we always had reviewers, but I was never able to track and see, okay, what kind of mistakes are being made? How bad are they being made? Obviously, if we make bad mistakes, we're probably going to lose the client unless it's in their favor. But anyway, that's there. Wanted to point it out. Again, you guys can use it. It's more the reviewers are going to be checking off. So now they actually have something to check to track this stuff. All right, moving back here. Just showed the office event prioritized, client file, new view. I'll go back into here. Actually, I can go to Johnny Tester, no big deal. Where is he? Reviewer questions. So this is all new in here. I mean, the layout's different. I think it's really good. Just easier to keep track of things, where things are. As soon as if you're a returning employee, as soon as you go in here, you'll see it's all different. But we made a lot of changes like that. The punch clock. So now you got in-out board. You can just click here. You go right to the in-out board. It's going to say who's in, who's not right here on that. The calendar, same thing. It's a drop down. If you just click on calendar, it's going to go right to the appointment calendar. And I'll go to the appointment calendar real quick. So as we've been talking about, we have so in person, on phone, online, remote with Eric, remote with Vic. So the key with this, and this is people who are booking the appointments, but even if you're, as soon as you send a confirmation, it's going to be the message is going to be customized to the client based on the appointment type. So if it's over the phone, it's going to say, get your tax documents to us before your appointment, and then the preparer will then call you. If it's with Eric or Rick, it's actually going to be customized and actually have their name in it. Eric will give you a call on your appointment time or whatever. They're working remote this year. So this is all new, and I think it'll be, again, just trying to keep communications going between us and the client to make things smooth and cut down on phone calls. Links, instead of additional links, now it's just called links. Reports, I showed you what that looked like. Help menu, if you are feeling aggressive and want to learn as much as you can about Adam, come in here, click on Adam updates. We got great videos. I didn't show you everything, so you might find something that actually can help and speed up the process. Anyway, that's all in here. Client portal is all new. Let's see, I meant to go through that with you real quick. Let me, actually, is that the end before I go to that? Let me see here. Client portal, I'll do that as a end off. Client notifications, we talked about that, drop off, tax prep, pending client, you can actually customize it. So you can actually say you're missing your W-2s and 1099s from GM, and that reminder will be the one that goes out all the time. I'm going to refer you to the help menu and listen to my my update video on that one. If you really want to learn how to do that, it's in there. The due diligence checklist, talked about that. Tax law changes. I'm going to try to put the video in here if I can. I'm going to try to put it on YouTube and embed it in here, but YouTube is YouTube and us are fighting right now to keep things up there. Same with office workflow. Otherwise, it'll be inside of Adam under your OJT and job positions for that video. Okay, let me get to the portal. I'm gonna go to sales. Okay, I'm gonna show you what it looks like real quick, because even though I tell you guys to go there, okay, so they can pick their ID. You guys should know this. ID is the primary social. Email is their email primary. So right here, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get this right. Dang. Okay, hold on. Let me figure out what the email is for this person. Adam Sales, sorry about this. Let me log in. Okay, so it's John Casey here is who I want to go in as a test. Oh yeah, I had it. I thought it was, okay. And I'll default it to 1040. All right, now let me go back. $10.40 and I log in. There, I'm in. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like. So in this case, John has one new message. He has a document awaiting signature. He can click here and see that. He has account balance of 705. So all the important things we put on top. So Dwan did this. She did all the new changes to this portal. So I'll give her credit. So I'm going to go ahead and so I can move forward. Then they're gonna save, okay. All right, so now I'm in here. I can go to, if I click on my new message, that's gonna go to my message page. If I go to, I have a document waiting for e-sign, it's gonna click right here, client e-sign required. Now the big change here is, here's the file name. We used to have the upload type. The upload type isn't here anymore. Now it starts with a description. So when we do an upload, I'm going to automatically default a description for that item like tax return or e-sign document. So the reason I'm doing that is because I know it shows here first. Okay, so I might put e-sign document pin 12345 or whatever, but description is here, then the file name, upload type is gone. Just want to point that out. Obviously they want to pay, that's the same. They click on the menu. This is what it used to show, like here's track your tax return status, on hold, where's my refund? So everything's still here, it's just in a different format. I just wanted to show you that. Okay, the scheduler point, everything's the same, but that's how they'll get there. So if you were to say you upload a tax return, they're gonna go to, click on the hit upload or hit my documents is what they're gonna hit, and then they're gonna see their tax return. If they're gonna hit something for e-signature, just say, as soon as you log in, you'll see where it says you have a document waiting signature. Okay, I just want you to be a little familiar with this page so you can pass a little information to the client and make it easier for them. I would love it if you knew more about this page so you could give more information to the client, but I've been doing this for many years and I know how things work. And probably you won't go any further than what I just showed you here. But anyway, if you do, great. If you don't, hopefully this is enough information to get you through it. So I think that is all I have. So as of right now, obviously this is the orientation. So again, thanks for returning. Welcome new tax preparers. Let's have a great season and go team.